Da da da! Zoid is back. New G5 meta, Myth and Rule Showcase. Okay, so I finally got Mithrala after getting like one shard for Nightmare Hydra every time. So I've built her just normal kind of immunity with good accuracy, really slow, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So 185 speed because well, first you want people's reaction to be over, so hence the slow speed, but also because Mithrala debuff is a hit, right? It's an attack. So you want it not to disturb any sleep crowd control from Kaima, for example. So the build is like this, and there's probably like a million variations to this, but Eagle Eye is probably the thing that you really care about. And COR as well, just in case you put it in a anti-hedgy team. So the ability that you're probably most interested in is this A2 that does Hex on everybody. I think it's the only skill that does Hex guaranteed on everybody. And that is Void Affinity, meaning that it won't weak hit. And it also, this is really good, places increased defense and increase attack. Not only is this just generally beneficial, but it means that whether you have a nuker that's attack based or defense based, doesn't really matter, right? You don't have to worry about it. That Mithrala will get you all, really. She also has this strength and a shield, which is really good, but if you're on the offense, you really shouldn't be relying on that in arena. I think maybe that's more of a PvE ability. She's a PvE PvP champion, can be used both. Probably more PvE Hydra. Yeah, I don't know why I backed out there to Bastion. Possibly because I'm free to play and can't play my game properly now. So the second champion that goes really well with her is obviously Ruel. Ruel is, in my opinion, one of the champions that has the greatest potential that is possibly the least used in game at end game. Ruel is spirit, meaning that he is very meta. I've built him using my second rate gear, so like 6.6k attack, 244 crit damage. If I wanted to push him, I'll get him 7k attack, 300 crit damage using my Trunda gear. But this will do for G5 meta, right? G5 meta. His masteries are Helm Smasher. I couldn't be bothered to respec him. I had him for increased accuracy because no one else was going to do Hex. And I was going to do like a semi-fast hybrid rule with really fast turn meter and Hex. But yeah, you can see that in my demo earlier last year about it. It was quite good. He was doing like 244k nukes, against relatively okay Plat teams at that time, but obviously the meta has really shifted to very heavy defensive teams. In this demo, I'll be using Necrit as well, and Prince Kaima, but there's other variations, right? You could do like Arbiter, Warlord, for example, or something like that, but I wanted the Kaima just to strip some buffs in case they have some kind of immunity, and so my Kaima, this is my immunity Kaima at just over 310 speed. Usually I have a faster immunity Yoshi in front of that Kaima for the increased accuracy, but we won't be using that today. Okay, so let's go and actually hit some stuff. Okay, I'm going to try and find reasonably slow teams. This is kind of slow. This is Candy Lead. So they won't be faster than me, so hopefully I'll just pull off a sleep. Nope, didn't get sleep. I'm going to do this. Ally attack to reduce turn meter, but also to do some decent damage. Protection, doesn't really matter. I could do A1 for decreased attack. Here's the Hex that really matters. And then here's a nuke. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. They've got Bulwark, right? Possibly one Bulwark on the Viking Opera Lady, but possibly another Bulwark, maybe on Tormy. I have no idea how their Tormy built, but they look pretty solid. Bulk really reduces the damage you take in. This is another slowish team. So sleep is off, then ally attack you can do, doesn't really matter who you go to, really. Hex is the one that matters, and then you want your rule to follow up immediately before they Trundle the turn. So they will revive, and we will just recycle, and then hex again, and then blah blah blah, and then A2 by rule. You know, I think it's not comparable to Trunda in terms of like just raw damage output, but in terms, because you need all 4 hex to land, and you know 3% rule, right? And you know, if they have immunity, stone skin, lots of things, but nonetheless it is very effective, which I'm not demonstrating here, against you know, force teams. Against these kind of teams, you know, Trunda would be way better, right? But against force teams, then Rule really has that advantage, because he takes a lot less damage from Kandra. So we were doing about, you know, I think maybe up to 180k there. Still not as good as Trunda. So here's a force team. Well, one of them is called Kandra, so it's one is force. Okay, so hopefully we'll sleep. Yeah, just about. Ally attack. That's a weak Siphi, right? Then Hex. Hex. Oh, look at that. Soft team. I feel that was a bit soft, actually. Didn't even get my rule second hit. Let's just go and find some harder teams. Just more, you know, well-geared teams, I guess. I don't want to fight anything that's too fast, or has Warlord, or has Hedgie, which is kind of hard to find now, even in G5. This is quite a tanky team, right? 2 revivers, fast, pretty fast. I think that's a 270, 280 speed Duchess, right? Attack the Viking lady. Yeah, I'm not gonna get Hex on all 4. Just 3 here. This is gonna take a while, because rules condition that all 4 needs to have Hex. It's such a crappy condition. Ouch. Ouch. Am I even gonna win this though? I can Hex now. That might be a win condition, because they didn't have block debuffs up, because they used it too quickly, actually. Yeah, so I will win this. Nice. So you see, you know, I think, yeah, it's not as good as Trunda, if I'm gonna be honest. But for G5, it's meta. It's meta. That's it. If you can't get into G5, Myth plus Rule is the way you can get into G5. If you can't get into G4, this will definitely guarantee you Arbiter.